Psalms 105 verses 1 Give thanks to the Lord and call out to him. Tell the nations what he has done. 詩篇第105篇1節你們要稱謝耶和華，求告他的名，在萬民中傳揚他的作為。Psalms 105 verses 2 Sing to him, sing praise to him, tell about the amazing things he has done. 詩篇第105篇2節要向他唱詩歌頌，談論他一切奇妙的作為。Psalms 105 verses 3 Be proud of his holy name, you followers of the Lord, be happy. 詩篇第105篇3節要以他的聖名誇耀，尋求耶和華的人，心中應當歡喜。Psalms 105 verses 4 Depends on the Lord for strength. Always go to him for help. 詩篇105篇4節要尋求耶和華與他的能力，時常尋求他的面。Psalms 105 verses 5 Remember the amazing things he has done. Remember his miracle and his fair decision. 詩篇第105篇5節你們要紀念他奇妙的作為和他奇事，並他口中的判語。Psalms 105 verses 6 He belongs to the family of his servant Abraham. You are descendants of Jacob, the people God chose. 詩篇第105篇6節他僕人亞伯拉罕的後裔，他所揀選雅各的子孫啊。Psalms 105 verses 7 The Lord is our God, He rules the whole world. 詩篇第105篇7節他是耶和華我們的神，全地都有他的判斷。Psalm 105 verses 8 He will remember his agreement forever. He will always keep the promise he made to his people. 詩篇第105篇8節他紀念他的約，直到永遠，他所吩咐的話，直到千代。Psalms 105 verses 9 He will keep the agreement he made with Abraham and the promise he made to Isaac. 詩篇第105篇9節就是與亞伯拉罕所立的約，向以撒所起的誓。Psalms 105 verses 10 He gave it as a glory to Jacob. He gave it to Israel as an agreement that will last forever. 詩篇第105篇10節他又將這約向雅各定為律例，向以色列定為永遠的約。Psalms 105 verses 11 He said, I will give you the land of Canaan. It will be your very own. 詩篇第105篇11節說：我必將迦南地賜給你，作你產業的份。Psalms 105 verses 12 At the time God said this, there were only a few of his people, and they were strangers there. 詩篇第105篇12節當時他們人丁有限，數目稀少，並且在那地為寄居的。Psalms 105 verses 13 They travel around from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. 詩篇第105篇13節他們從這邦遊到那邦，從這國行到那國。Psalms 105 verses 14 But the Lord did not let anyone mistreat them. He warned kings not to harm them. 詩篇第105篇14節他不容什麼人欺負他們，為他們的緣故責備君王。Psalms 105 verses 15 He said, Don't hurt my chosen people, don't harm my prophets. 詩篇第105篇15節說：不可難為我受膏的人，也不可惡待我的先知。Psalms 105 verses 16 He caused a famines in that country, and people did not have enough food. 詩篇第105篇16節他命 饑荒降在那地上，將所倚靠的糧食全行斷絕。Psalms 105 verse 17. But he sent a man named Joseph to go ahead of them. Joseph was so like a slave. 詩篇第105篇17節，在他們以先打發一個人去約瑟，被賣為奴僕。Psalms 105 verses 18. They tie a rope around his feet and put an iron rein around his neck. 詩篇第105篇18節，人用腳鐐傷他的腳，他被鐵鏈捆拘。Psalms 105 verses 19. Joseph was a slave until what he said has really happened. The Lord's message proved that Joseph was right. 詩篇第105篇19節，耶和華的話是連他，直等到他所說的應驗了。Psalms 105 verses 20. So the king of Egypt set him free. The nation's leaders led him out of jail. 詩篇第105篇20節，王打發人把他解開，就是治理眾民的，把他釋放。Psalms 105 verses 21. He put Joseph in charge of his house. Joseph took care of everything the king owned. 詩篇第105篇21節，立他作皇家之主，掌管他一切所有的。Psalms 105 verses 22. Joseph gave instructions to the other leaders. He taught the older men. 詩篇第105篇22節，使他隨意捆綁他的臣宰，將智慧教導他的長老。Psalms 105 verses 23. Then Israel came to Egypt. Jacob lives there in Ham's country. 詩篇第105篇23節，以色列也到了埃及，雅各在含地寄居。Psalms 105 verses 24. Jacob's family became very large and more powerful than their enemies. 詩篇第105篇24節，耶和華使他的百姓生養眾多，使他們比敵人強盛。Psalms 105 verses 25. So the Egyptians began to hate his people. They made plans against his servant. 詩篇第105篇25節，使敵人的心轉向恨他的百姓，並用詭計待他的僕人。Psalms 105 verses 26. So the Lord sent Moses his servant, and Aaron his chosen priest. 詩篇第105篇26節，他打發他的僕人摩西和他所揀選的亞倫。Psalms 105 verses 27. He used Moses and Aaron to do many miracles in Ham's countries. 詩篇第105篇27節，在敵人中間顯他的神蹟，在含地顯他的奇事。Psalms 105 verses 28. He sent darkness to cover their lands, but the Egyptians did not listen to him. 詩篇第105篇28節，他命黑暗就有黑暗，沒有違背他話的。Psalms 105 verses 29. So he changed the water into blood, and all the fish died. 詩篇第105篇29節，他叫埃及的水變為血，叫他們的魚死了。Psalms 105 verses 30. The country was filled with frogs, even in the king's bedroom. 詩篇第105篇30節，在他們的地上以及王宮的內室，青蛙多多滋生。Psalms 105 verses 31. The Lord gave the commands, and the flies and the gnats came. They were everywhere. 詩篇第105篇31節，他說一聲，蒼蠅就成群而來，並有虱子進入他們四境。 Psalms 105 verses 32. He made the rain become haze, lightning struck throughout the lands. 詩篇第105篇32節，他給他們降下冰雹為雨，在他們的地上降下火焰。Psalms 105 verses 33. He destroyed their vines and fig trees. He destroyed every tree in their country. 詩篇第105篇33節，他也擊打他們的葡萄樹和無花果樹，毀壞他們境內的樹木。Psalms 105 verses 34. He gave the commands and the locusts and grasshoppers came. There were too many to count. 詩篇第105篇34節，他說一聲，就有蝗蟲蚱蜢上來，不計其數。Psalms 105 verses 35. They ate all the plants in the country, including all the crops in their fields. 詩篇105篇35節，吃盡了他們地上各樣的蔬菜和田地的出產。Psalms 105 verses 36. Then the Lord kills every firstborn in their country. He killed their oldest son. 詩篇105篇36節，他又擊殺他們國內一切的長子，就是他們強壯時頭生的。Psalms 105 verses 37. He led his people out of Egypt. They were carrying gold and silver, and none of them stumbled or fell behind. 詩篇105篇37節，他令自己的百姓帶銀子金子出來，他支派中沒有一個軟弱的。Psalms 105 verses 38. Egypt was happy to see his people go because they were afraid of them. 詩篇105篇38節，他們出來的時候，埃及人便歡喜，原來埃及人懼怕他們。Psalms 105 verses 39. The Lord spread out his cloud like a blanket. He used it as a column of fire to give his people light of night. 詩篇第105篇39節，他鋪張雲彩當遮蓋，夜間使火光照。Psalms 105 verses 40. They asked for food, and he sent them quails. He also gave them plenty of bread from heaven. 詩篇105篇40節，他們一求，他就使鵪鶉飛來，並用天上的糧食叫他們飽足。Psalms 105 verses 41. He split the rock, and water came bubbling out. A river began flooding in the desert. 詩篇105篇41節，一打開磐石，水就湧出，在乾旱之處，水流成河。Psalms 105 verses 42. The Lord remembered his holy promise that he has made to his servant Abraham. 詩篇105篇42節，這都因他紀念他的聖言和他的僕人亞伯拉罕。Psalms 105 verses 43. He brought his people out of Egypt. They came out rejoicing and singing their happy songs. 詩篇105篇43節，他帶領百姓歡樂而出，帶領選民歡呼前往。Psalms 105 verses 44. Then he gave his people the lands of other nations. His people got what others had worked for. 詩篇105篇44節，他將列國的地賜給他們，他們便成群移民勞碌得來的。Psalms 105 verses 45. He did this so that his people would obey his laws and follow his teachings. Praise the Lord. 詩篇105篇45節，好使他們遵他的律例，守他的律法。你們要讚美耶和華。